topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Churchill said, "Those who fail to learn from history are condemned to repeat it." Kevin Hallinan believes that certainly applies to business. Welcome to Winning Business Radio, here at W4CY Radio. That's W4CY.com. And now, your host, Kevin Hallinan.
Thanks, everybody, for joining in again today. I'm Kevin Hallinan, and welcome back to Winning Business TV and Radio on W4CY.com. We are streaming live on Talk4TV.com. That's the number 4. And, of course, we're on Facebook, and that's at Winning Business Radio. And after the live show, we're available wherever you get your podcast content, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, etc. The mission of Winning Business Radio and TV, as regular viewers and listeners know, is to offer insights and advice to help people avoid the mistakes of others, right? To learn best practices. Those are the how-tos, the what-tos, the what-not-tos. I want you to be challenged and hopefully to be inspired by the successes of others. Who are those others? Consultants, coaches, advisors, authors, founders and owners and entrepreneurs, people with expertise. But, you know, virtually every successful person I've ever had a chance to has had some form of failure in their lives and careers. So while we all have to get our knees skinned once in a while, I'm driven to keep those scrapes from needing major surgery. Let's endeavor to learn from history so we don't repeat it. I've spent the better part of my career equipping businesses to grow, from solopreneurs to small and medium-sized companies all the way up to the Fortune 50. I've seen some of those companies win, and to varying degrees, I've seen some fail. And I've had the opportunity to rub elbows with some of the highest performing people around and some who probably should have found other professions. In my own businesses, I've had lots of success, but some failures too. And I like to think I've learned a lot. So yeah, you're going to hear from me, but mostly I want you to hear from guests. And today my guest is Craig Brenner, CEO and co-founder of icognio, a legal technology company built exclusively for law firms. Here's his bio. Craig Brenner is the CEO and co-founder of icognio, a legal technology company delivering secure on-premise AI solutions. With decades of experience across technology, leadership, and enterprise systems, Craig has helped build and scale multiple companies serving high-trust, high-stakes environments. He founded icognio to address the security, governance, and adoption gaps he saw emerging as law firms rushed to adopt cloud-based AI tools. He's also the owner of Brenner Brothers and has held senior technology and technology leadership positions in well-known technology companies. He holds a bachelor's in science and business from Eastern Nazarene College in Quincy, Mass., where he's the captain of the cross-country team, and an MBA with a concentration in e-business from the University of Phoenix, and he completed Worcester Polytechnic Institute's Technology Leadership Program. He resides in the Nashville, Tennessee metro area. He has 3 grown kids, Colin, who's 27, Cameron, who's 25, and Cassidy, who's 22, and he's got 3 grandkids. And don't forget, he's got 2 standard poodles, Mindy Lou and Big Wayne. Craig, welcome to Winning Business Radio and TV.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
My pleasure. Glad you could be here. So tell us a little bit about your background. You grew up in Middletown, New York. Tell folks where that is and what it was like to grow up there.
Yeah, Middletown, New York is about an hour and a half north of metropolitan New York City, in the Catskills region. Mm-hmm. It's in an area a lot of people would know of, Poughkeepsie, New York, in the Hudson Valley region.
Yeah, beautiful up there.
And it's a country area. So I kind of grew up in the country, even though when people hear New York, they always think of big buildings.
And you don't have that New York City accent. I don't have that Boston accent because my parents are from Connecticut. So were you influenced by parents or mentors when choosing a direction or career, either, directly or indirectly?
Well, I think my biggest mentor was probably my father. My father was the incurable entrepreneur. I remember him coming home and always having a new idea about, what kind of business he could do or how he could
Yeah.
make money.
Yeah.
He owned his own milk route when a
Oh,
milk
cool. Yeah.
route was a thing. Yeah. And he would drag my one of my 5 older brothers out there and 2 a.m. to distribute milk around the neighborhoods. And so he really gave me that concept that if you have a great idea,
Mm.
you can go and you can build it, to have
Mm.
confidence in yourself. And my brothers were also all their own business owners as a result of that leadership.
Oh, very
So I'd say
cool. Yeah.
my dad was my biggest influence. And my mom, obviously, she had 6 kids, so she showed me how to manage adversity.
She gets the award for having all boys too.
One girl.
Oh, one
5
girl.
boys,
All right.
girl. Yeah.
Did you guys play sports growing up?
Yeah, I was on the cross country team and the track
Yep.
team.
Yep.
My brothers had pretty much all runners in my family.
Very cool.
And then I branched out a little bit into cycling and triathlon
Mm.
and ultra marathoning.
Ooh, very cool. I'd like to hear about that another time. But I when I turned 40, I wanted to get in, better shape. I wasn't in terrible shape, but I wasn't in shape either. And that's when I found I like to run. I didn't like it before that, and I've always been active, but I considered running. That's what you do when you get ready for football,
Right.
And it was painful, So
Yes.
um,
My coach used to say that it's not fun to run; it's fun to have run.
That's true. That's true. You feel great, and it's fun to win too when you do win.
That's right.
So, what made you choose Eastern Nazarene? I know that campus, really small campus. I know it well down in Quincy.
Yeah. Eastern Nazarene College, which was later changed to Eastern College,
Mm.
Was a part of the Nazarene Church, an extension
Mm-hmm.
of the Nazarene Church. They have colleges all over the country.
Mm.
And Quincy was just one of their campuses. My 2 boys went to Trevecca in the Nashville region, which
Mm-hmm.
is how I ended up in the Nashville region. I visited them. So Trevecca is another one of the Nazarene College. You have Point Loma out in California. So they have quite a interesting college network related to and associated with the Church of the Nazarene International.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think in the last few years, the Quincy campus has closed down.
Yeah, it has, unfortunately, but really good education. I know a bunch of kids that have gone there. My kids went to a Christian school right in Weymouth. And so
Okay.
a lot of their friends, not a lot, but a number of their friends went there. And I know adults that have gone there. Had a really good friend, got his, as an adult, got his construction certificate, 4-year degree, his construction degree and certificate there. So really good school.
Yep.
And then when and why did you decide to get an MBA?
I decided to get an MBA because I realized that there was more I wanted to learn about business.
Mm-hmm.
There were weaknesses. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. I had some weak areas that I wanted to shore up when relating to business. Some on the financial side, some on the accounting side, some on the strategy side, some on the leadership side. And so I thought that that was a good way for me to just go one level deeper in terms of how businesses operate, how they run, what's important, and go ahead and get that. So that's why I went for my MBA. I did it remotely through University of Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And some people might say, oh, well, you weren't really on a campus, but getting your MBA remotely has its own set of challenges. And you have to use technology. Technology is your conduit kind of to the professor. And so it brings in a whole different sense of community because you're interacting with students from all over the country and in some cases all over the world.
I can imagine, yeah.
Which, you sometimes do on certain local campuses, but, they're all distributed. And the concept of teamwork in an online environment changes and becomes much more important because that's your lifeline to learning. So University of Phoenix, they have a nice teamwork program. They break the classes up into teams, project teams, and, you have some strong team members and, you kind of follow them. And then you have some weak team members and you kind of bring them along.
Yeah.
All these are business concepts,
For
so
sure.
yeah. So I did enjoy that program. It was very good for me.
What was your takeaway from WPI's technology leadership program?
Well, the WPI Technology Leadership Program was the name is kind of I don't say deceiving, but it doesn't hit the mark. The WPI Leadership Training Program is a people management program, which is focused on leading technology leaders. So, how to lead those groups that are in the technology realm as a CIO or a CTO or even a CEO, and how to keep motivation, how to keep innovation moving, and how to incent, and how to how to lead. So it was an outstanding program. It was right on the campus there in Worcester. I think it was at a remote campus. I forget the exact town, but beautiful campus. I was in that class, rather small cohort of about 20 folks, but all pretty high performing technology leaders in their own companies. And so, and they really pushed you. I mean, that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
There were moments where you were kind of, wow, this is a push. They'd give you some high pressure team assignments that were competitive. And that was kind of a core of that curriculum, was break up into teams, solve this problem, come back and tell all these other really smart people how you're going to solve it, and do it better than them. So, that's the pressure cooker that is innovation. That's how innovation happens.
Love to hear that. All right, take us through. I don't want to spend a lot of time, but I want to get a sense. I always like audiences to get the sense of kind of how you came up. So, just like a quick lesson from each of these. Channel sales manager at NTT Data.
Sure, I was selling dial-up back in the day. Not to roll back the film that far. But,
I know.
I realized that high-speed internet access was something that was needed by businesses. And so NTT acquired a company I worked for called Verio in downtown Boston. I was a channel manager there. I later rolled that program out to NFL cities, 12 cities in the United States, to other channel managers. And it was very successful. I enjoyed selling. I really enjoyed the process of selling.
Even though it's the dark side?
Well, selling is not the dark side.
No, I know. I'm teasing.
There's a certain feeling you only get when you close business, and you know how that
That's
feels.
right. That's right.
It's a
That's
really
my
great
job.
feeling.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a great feeling. So that's how I got interested in deep into technology. And I just have an affinity for it. I always was skilled at it in school. So I went on to work for a few different startups, and then I went on to found a few different startups.
Yeah.
Some which made it and some which did not.
That's the game. That is the game.
Yeah. And so it is frustrating when you start something and you have a passion for something and it doesn't quite go the way you had planned. But I would say that, you've heard this before, many people have, you really do learn more from your failures than you do from your successes.
That's a fact. Yep.
And you have to have some scars. You have to be willing to take risks. A lot of people are not that kind of a personality.
Right.
My personality is that I'm not afraid to take the risks. So some of the startups got funded by other folks. Some of the startups I funded myself. And these were all technology startups. And some of them were funded by venture capitalists and were already kind of in motion. And one of those was Kiva Systems, which was a robotics company, started out in Woburn and later relocated to North Reading. I was there 7 years. We were acquired by Amazon. And that's another great feeling when you are even just a part of a team that succeeds and gets acquired by a larger company.
Yeah.
It's a one of a kind feeling, that it's the high five moment. We did it. We achieved our goal. We returned our investment to our investors and then some.
Yeah.
And it's addicting.
I like winning, but I particularly like winning financially. So That's a good one. All right, we're going to take our first break right here, Craig. Everybody, we'll be back with Craig Brenner in just about 1 minute.
You're listening to Winning Business Radio with Kevin Hallinan on W4CY Radio. That's W4CY.com. Don't go away. More helpful information is coming right up, right here on Winning Business Radio.
Bestian Wealth Management is family-owned for 2 generations. They take pride in thoughtful financial planning and wealth management with a family feel for your closely held family business. Bestian Wealth Management focuses on deep planning, integrating your business planning with personal. They will help put your money to work and your mind at ease. Go to bestianwealthmanagement.com for more information. Advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor. Join the Bestian family and let our family advise your family. That's bestianwealthmanagement.com for your complimentary initial consultation.
Have you ever dreamt of being on the radio? Well, now is your chance. Be a radio show guest on the #1 ranked internet radio station and promote you and your business for free. Yes, you heard it, free. Business advertising right here on W4CY.com. Call 561-506-4031 now to get booked on one of our shows. That's 561-506-4031. Get your free advertising now.
And now back to Winning Business Radio with Kevin Hallinan, presenting exciting topics and expert guests with one goal in mind, to help you succeed in business. Here once again is Kevin Hallinan.
We are back with Craig Brenner, CEO and co-founder of icognio. So then you got into some fractional CIO work and some consulting work. Talk about that.
Yeah, I wanted to try my hand at consulting. I had done some government consulting. I was outsourced part-time CIO for the city of Watertown, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had consulted for some K through 12 school districts, including Plymouth and also Shrewsbury. Mm-hmm. So, and the city of Shrewsbury, and also Watertown K through 12. So I enjoyed the low-hanging fruit of being able to go in to, let's say, something that wasn't necessarily a company, mm-hmm. which ran very efficiently, and make improvements that were, not really able to be observed by those individuals. And then that led me into consulting for businesses. One of my consulting opportunities was with a large sign company, a national sign company. And on another one was with SVP Worldwide, which was Singer sewing machines, with their Internet of Things products. They have a product line, sewing machines that are networked and people can download designs. And I was a part of that project. And during the COVID, so as you can imagine, a lot of people had time and they were doing a lot of sewing during COVID.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that was a very fast moving type opportunity. And so I did enjoy the consulting, and also there are some positives in doing technology consulting, and there are some negatives. The positive is, you kind of come in, with a certain agenda to make a sweeping improvement, or to innovate something that they have not noticed and give them advice. The downside is you're not really a member of the team. And it's very easy for people to create opinions about your performance, whether it be he's awesome or he's not really doing what we're paying him that much to do. So that was the downside of consulting, but everything has its goods and bads, but I did enjoy the process of it.
All right. So in 2021, you started Brenner Brothers. I don't know a whole lot about that. Tell us what Brenner Brothers is or was. Sounds like
Brenner Brothers is it's still an entity, but it was a industrial food service for large corporations. To the customers in Tennessee were General Motors and Ultium Batteries, Ultium Cells, which is a large battery manufacturer owned by General Motors. And my brother and I started that, and he is continuing it in the South Carolina area, servicing large data center construction projects.
Cool. Yeah. Everybody's got to eat. That's pretty
Yes.
dependable. All right. And then, of course, in January of last year, you founded icognio. So first, tell us the why behind the what. What did you see and why did you decide to, again, there's the risk. I'm sure there was money that you invested, et cetera. Nothing's free. Take us through that story.
The way the company was originally envisioned was not what it is today. That's a common theme in technology. You pivot as the market shows you what's actually going on. And originally we were shooting for a consumer product to protect privacy of AI users. But then we, over time, we started to niche down as we saw the market opportunity growing in certain areas. And that's how we ended up kind of, in the legal space, because, in business and in sports and everything else, you have to figure out where the puck is going, right? And you have to go there before others go there. You don't want to go there too early because no one will have interest. You just wait too early, but you don't want to also be too late and come in behind. So that was kind of a lot of our early discussions. We started development in fall of 2024. And then throughout all of 2025, we continued our development, and with a focus on AI security.
How did you realize there was a need there?
Yes. The AI security space is just a little baby. It hasn't even walked yet. And AI is sort of like the Wild West in a lot of ways, as
Absolutely.
Many of the listeners might know. And it's the Wild West because it's a petri dish of technology due to the speed, rapid innovation that's taking place. And that desire to, have something first and get something out, and the pressure that companies are under due to large sums of investment in their companies to innovate, to release, and, sort of the term "damn the torpedoes" comes to mind. Like, it may not be completely safe, but we have to do it, And so that was a lot of our vision, was that we saw where the puck was going, and it was a little bit scary because we thought this is probably going to go wrong in a lot of different ways. But how is it going to go wrong? I'm not talking about end of world kind of scenarios.
Right. Not what I just blew the reference. The name of the Terminator series. Anyway, keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Not end of world go wrong, but go wrong for companies, go wrong for businesses, become an unsolvable challenge for security officers in companies. And they have to do what the CEO says. That's their job, to follow the orders, but they're also under pressure to secure their data, right? That's their other job. Their one job is innovate and follow instructions from the leadership of the company, from the board, but their primary job is to secure the data. And so these security folks are in a little bit of a jam in a lot of ways. They probably wouldn't admit it, that AI is like fire. It can be your best friend or it can be your worst enemy.
That's a good reference.
Yeah. So, and fire is a good thing. You have to control it. And so that's where we sit. We sit in that control space, ahead of the competition, and deploying in such a fashion that they do not. And that is our core value proposition, is that we're really not like any of the competitors. We are the most secure AI solution for law.
If somebody read a description, they'd say, wow, they're not cloud-based, but there's a very important reason for that. And what you've created is an appliance, right? An on-premise appliance. So tell us about that. Reason for no cloud.
Our founding team and myself, we have a lot of history with infrastructure hardware and managing infrastructure hardware. And, the easiest way I can explain it to anyone who may be in technology or not be in technology, they probably know what a firewall is, right? So you may have a firewall in your house. You probably do. Some people have firewalls in their house. But companies certainly have firewalls to protect their data. That firewall does not live in the cloud. There's a reason for that. It is a device, because that is the best way to secure the data behind it. So that's basically the approach that we take to our solution. Is we take, best known practices of securing devices, and then we build an AI platform on top of that, and we make it 100% secure and 100% reliable. And it goes inside the customer's network. It doesn't live in the cloud. And that's why firewalls don't live in the cloud. That is our business model.
And so this is for law firms.
Yes.
Law firms have I don't know if it's regulatory. I don't think it's regulatory, but they certainly have an obligation to keep everything secure. And in particular, they could be not just at risk of, exposing customer data, but I suppose competitive data too, right? So
yeah, we've done a lot of interviews with law firms, but our assumption was that the risk versus reward benefit of using AI in certain spaces, such as law, is it's a slippery slope, because you can get a lot of efficiencies from using AI in the law environment, but then at the same time, controlling what the end user actually does with AI is not so simple. So you get into internal regulatory or policy creation.
Right.
The American Bar Association has toyed with AI standards for law, but they have not done that yet.
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's a great idea.
Well, we're counting on it. In fact, we're positive that it will happen. It's just a matter of time going by where more and more events occur. There are many events that have already occurred. So we're going to be able to guarantee compliance at a much higher level. I don't want to get too geeky, but if you allow, companies like Anthropic, who are really focusing on slanting a certain product set towards law, have since decreased their bar for security because they were getting sued a lot. And so even the AI companies, I don't want to say they don't really know how it works, because that's not a right statement. The AI companies don't really know what mistakes it will make. All right. So they're cautious, because AI does things that are unpredictable by its nature. And that has to do with the DNA of how an AI platform is built and how it operates. It can be unpredictable. Unpredictable and law do not go together.
It makes a lot of sense. So I can imagine that managing partners or boards are very leery.
Yeah, you have a few different camps. You have your old school law firms who are hesitant to get off the dime with AI because AI has the potential to decrease billings. And billings is what their companies are built on. So
that's interesting. Yeah.
So they're you're talking at the board level. So we're talking at the board level. Now they also have efficiencies which can be gained, which is maybe X number of hours are saved per month per paralegal or per junior attorney or per attorney. I would say that the greatest savings is at the lower end, because AI is better at repetitive tasks.
Well, the argument I would think should be, okay, now they have more capacity for billable hours.
That's correct. That's another one of the upsides. So you see, it's this slippery slope of What are the benefits and what are the downsides of fully adopting AI? Now, there's another whole class of law firms that's evolving, which are AI first law firms. Those are the guys that are going to shake the apple cart up.
Would you say that LegalZoom was maybe a precursor to something like that?
No, this would be a little bit different. LegalZoom is an automation platform. I think it's a good product. It's an automation platform. What we're talking about is real law, not just templates. We're talking about litigation, and basically you have AI firms that are now evolving, and they're getting VC funding. So you have law firms getting VC funding. That's something new.
I've never heard that. Yeah.
You have AI first law firms getting VC funding to grow rapidly. And the concept there is human in the middle, right? So AI does a larger percentage of the work, the law work, than they would in a traditional law firm. Maybe AI does 60 or 70 or 80% of the work. By design, the law firm is built that way. That's where you get some serious time savings, right? And then you have the human in the loop, where the human is really facilitating the law process. It's very similar to what's happening with AI and software development. Your lower end people are now becoming sort of, architects in a way. Here's the same concept that in law, the AI first law firm, the lawyer is more of a facilitator, an architect of the process. They're not doing the whole process. They're checking the process. So there's a huge savings there for the customer, right?
Yeah, AI can't go to court. They can't do a mediation. AI can't do a deposition. I suppose it's possible, but you still need that traffic cop. You still need that legality, right?
Right. Yes, and you would think that law firms are cautious about that, but you would be completely wrong.
Because that's what I would think. Yeah,
there are. I don't want to say hundreds. That's probably an overstatement. There are more than 50 cases that we're aware of where law firms have submitted and brought into court false AI generated content.
Wow.
Some of them knowingly, some of them by mistake. So it's a very, it's like the Wild West for law. Is if you're going to use AI, you better have your saddle tight.
All right, that's a good time to take a break. We'll take our second commercial right here. We'll be right back in about a minute with Craig Brenner.
You're listening to Winning Business Radio with Kevin Hallinan on W4CY Radio. That's W4CY.com. Don't go away. More helpful information is coming right up, right here on Winning Business Radio.
Bestian Wealth Management is family-owned for 2 generations. They take pride in thoughtful financial planning and wealth management with a family feel for your closely held family business. Bestian Wealth Management focuses on deep planning, integrating your business planning with personal. They will help put your money to work and your mind at ease. Go to BestianWealthManagement.com for more information. Advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor. Join the Bestian family and let our family advise your family. That's BestianWealthManagement.com for your complimentary initial consultation.
The YP.com website is your local search engine. If you're looking for a good restaurant, it can help you find the right one nearby with ratings and reviews. Or if your car breaks down, you can use the YP app to find the closest repair shop. Or maybe you're just looking for something to do on a Friday night. Well, it has great local coupons for all sorts of things in your area. No matter what, when, or where, if you're looking for something, YP Local Search can help you find it. So go to YP.com or download the app to search local, find local, and save local.
And now back to Winning Business Radio with Kevin Hallinan, presenting exciting topics and expert guests with one goal in mind, to help you succeed in business. Here once again is Kevin Hallinan.
We're back with Craig Brenner, CEO and co-founder of icognio. What makes your solution, and you touched on that a little bit, but this is an opportunity to really make the case. What makes your solution better than other legal AIs?
The majority of legal AIs are really not legal AIs.
Hmm.
They
They're
are,
repurposed, right?
yeah, they are a large language model, an LLM, whether it be Anthropic or whether it be ChatGPT. And then, like many products that people are familiar with that have AI embedded into them, the AI, is really software around the large language model. We're completely different. It's basically a wrapper around regular AI. Our platform is built from the ground up just for law. It's a major differentiator. Everything that's in our product is built with law in mind, and that comes down to safety, that comes down to accuracy, that comes down to auditability, that comes down to reporting engines, built for law. So everything in our product is built from the ground up for law. It's purpose built. That's the major differentiator. And obviously, the second one is, and most important, the security component. It lives inside the customer's network. Their data their proprietary data never leaves their network. Why would it? Why would any company, just think about what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
Why would any company allow their proprietary data, whether it be a customer name, whether it be a case description, and put that out into the cloud, right? And take a chance that it's going to leak, right? They wouldn't. Why would they count on information coming back? So here's number 3. Information coming back from AI that is accurate, right? And hallucinations are probably the most talked about problem in law having to do with AI. AI hallucinates. What is a hallucination for people that are less technical out there? A hallucination is, imagine you're going down a highway, and the way AI works is it puts words together. That's how it gives you your response. It looks for the next logical word. When it can't find the next logical word, it does what it's designed to do. And this process is called probabilistic guessing. It guesses at the most probable exit on the highway, right? The next word. If it can't find it, it goes anyway, all right? It'll take it. And then, on the highway, when you get off the wrong exit, now you've got to make many turns and take many false turns to get back on track. That is what a hallucination is for the common person to understand. It makes things up because it gets lost in the process. And the larger the models get, this is the important point, the larger the models get, the worse that problem gets. Because now, instead of 5 exits off the highway, you have 5,000 exits off the highway to choose from. So while it might seem that AI can get smarter,
that's what I would think.
Yeah, as the models grow, the traffic gets more complicated. So we solve that. I believe we're the only company who actually has a solution to that problem of hallucination. That's a patent that we have.
Nice. Now, is it a fair question? And if you can't answer this in 5 minutes, don't. How did you do that?
So I have to be careful what I say on that. One. Let me describe it from a non-technical perspective.
Good.
All right. So everyone's familiar with how a lie detector works. So you have someone who's accused of something. They want to maybe eliminate them as a suspect, or they want to say, oh, well, this person's lying. This may not be completely accurate, right? A lie detector is not always completely accurate, but we have a better chance of knowing if the person's deceptive, right? That's exactly what we built. That's exactly what we built. So could you say 100%? You can't say 100% with a lie detector. The way a lie detector works is that it looks for patterns in the response, right? That's exactly what we do. That's exactly what our technology does. There are certain patterns that an honest response from AI have, and there are certain patterns that a hallucination have. In other words, something doesn't go with the question. So when you compare the question, or the prompt in this case, for those who use AI, you
Mm-hmm.
compare the prompt to the response, like a lie detector compares the question to the body signals, you can see deception, or you can sense it. That's exactly what we've built.
Before it
That's the
provides an
best way
answer
for
or
me to explain it.
response.
Yes, accuracy of response. And accuracy of response is probably the biggest flaw that AI has.
Now, who's on your team? I mean, this seems like really forward-thinking stuff, and I'm not saying that to, stroke you or anything like that. I'm just saying that this does really seem advanced. Who are the folks on your team, not by name, but by background, that made this possible?
Sure. Like myself, the team members are folks that have worked together
Mm,
and we have many years of experience.
mm,
We're kind of like, I like to make the joke that we're the non-startup group, the 22-year-old kid who works 100 hours a week and never
yeah,
sleeps. We have none of those. We sleep because we know sleep's important. With the
yeah.
22-year-old kid, he doesn't know yet, got to sleep. But what we do have is we have that pedigree, and we have it in the areas of hardware
Hmm.
development and management, which is
Hmm.
our core. We have it in the area of scaling with our chief scaling advisor. So we have a
Hmm.
CTO, we have a CSO, a chief scaling advisor. Obviously, we have a great finance person out of Canada. He joined the team. He's magnificent. He really knows his stuff. And then we have a chief scientist who is working on you know, things that I can't talk about,
Yeah.
or he'll get upset with me. But he's working on some cool stuff. We call him Uncle Fester because he's good at testing and experimenting. You have to have one of those on your team if you're going to innovate.
For
He's
sure.
great. And then we also have our chief marketing officer. And if you want to visit the website, you can see some of his great vision for our messaging and our
Hmm.
marketing. And so that's the team. We have a experienced team. We also have a new member of the team. She's out of college. She is out of college, and she was actually a founder of her own AI legal company. And we went and found her, and she just said she loves what we're doing. She gets the
Wow.
problem. She wants to solve the problem. Had nothing to do with her other company. She
Mm.
just thought, your guys are solving it properly, and I want to be a part of that. So I guess we've got 6 people now on the core founding team.
Remote,
Pardon me?
disparate. It's a
Oh, yes,
remote team.
we are a 100% remote company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I say if some investor wants to make us have an office, if they have a good reason to have an office, we'll have an office. But right now, we don't see a good reason to have an office. We'd rather save money and be efficient.
Yeah. Our team's remote as well. Same.
Yeah.
What would you say is the speed of adoption here of law firms? And by the way, this is commercially available, correct?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
available.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my understanding. Speed of adoption, is it getting better? Is it a hard uphill slog to get law firms to adopt this? Is there a hunger and a need?
Well, the rate of adoption in general in this
Mm.
market has fluctuated.
Hmm.
And the reason it's fluctuated has nothing really to do with technology. It's fluctuated having to do with organizational change, right? So certain organizations are very entrenched in their current legal processes.
Hmm.
Um, like you do have other large legal organizations that are in more repetitive markets, such as accident litigation, right?
Right. PI.
Uh, right? Like Morgan and Morgan. Morgan and
Hmm.
Morgan was plug for them. They were one of the early AI adopters with something called XAI.
Hmm.
That was in late 2023, early 2024. They released it and started using it, and they lost a major lawsuit to Walmart due to hallucinations. And then they kind of backed off. So when I say fits and starts, it's like they
Hmm.
backed off and they said, okay, wait, we've got to make sure we're doing this, better. And since then, they've actually launched a new startup. which is focused clearly on features and functions of that space, right? So you're going to have a niche down effect over time where more and more companies can niche down. We're going to do that with modules, right? Different kinds of law require different kinds of feature sets. An example is for Morgan & Morgan, who does accident litigation, a big thing is hospital records, right? Well, you wouldn't think hospital records, because hospital records show cost and hospital records show damage. And so they built a whole part of that solution just around hospital records. Yeah. So other companies are more afraid of AI. I've talked to some companies that they've literally said the word afraid. So, well, we're afraid of AI. We hear all these cases that we hear about sanctions in the courts. We hear about judges throwing cases out. We want to do it the old-fashioned way because we don't want to be in that group, right? So, and then you have the ones who want to adopt, but they don't know how to adjust their processes to maximize AI, if that makes any sense. Their processes are old, so their processes need to change to maximize AI, or else they're spending a bunch of money for something and they're not really getting a lot out of it. And that is happening often.
All right. There's also a term, and my guess is, well, before this discussion, my assumption was there are people using AI at law firms already. They're just using it on their own ChatGPT, their own Gemini, their own whatever. And
shadow AI is the term.
Shadow AI. Yeah. Yep. Talk about it. Yeah. Very risky.
Yeah. Shadow AI, and also operating without an AI company policy.
Governance.
A governance policy to let the employees know that, hey, when you come to work, it's not okay to just use AI to speed up your work or make your work more accurate and use anything you want. Now, the challenge then becomes, let's say you have a governance policy, and let's say you have good training, they can still do it on their own. And in general, human nature dictates that they will. Human nature dictates that unless you give them a better tool, they will do the thing that makes them do their job faster, because that gets praise.
Sure.
And they will do the thing that helps them do their job better than the other person in their same position, because that gets praise. And if you do your job better and you do your job faster, it also equals performance reviews. So now you're telling someone, well, don't do the thing that's going to make you look great. Do this other thing that we bought, even though it's not quite good, right? That's a tough one. That's a tough one to solve. So you have to give them a better tool. And if the problem with human nature also is that, I know it from managing technology for many different companies, is everyone has their favorite tool, right? You have your favorite tools.
For sure. Yep.
I have my favorite tools. Everyone has their favorite tool. So when they go to work and they get a tool that's not as good as their favorite, which many of them aren't, they say, why would I use this, inferior tool when my tool that I use at home for AI is so much better?
And I'm used to it. I'm comfortable with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are the real, cultural challenges that any company adopting AI has.
Yeah, you referred to it as behavior change.
Yes, human nature is very hard to manage. People
all right,
want to succeed.
We're almost out of time. Couple questions. Is there a size law firm that's a sweet spot? Is somebody too small, too big? Tell the audience that, and then what's the best way? Or excuse me, I won't even say the question yet. Answer that one first.
Yeah, well, we're steering away from the lower end of the market. If you look at the total addressable market, it's about a $9 billion a year market, right? For law in general, law. And you've got three stratas. You've got your larger enterprise corporations, then you've got your smaller, 5 and 10 and 15 person shops, or I'll also put in that your legal departments for larger companies.
Oh, okay, right.
Fewer seats. We're targeting the middle of the middle to the middle of the upper, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah.
So we're targeting the upper half of the middle strata and the lower half of the enterprise strata. And the reason why we're doing that is because we believe that that's the place where you can succeed best. When you get into enterprise of, law offices that have, hundreds of thousands of employees, which they are, offices all over the world, you're in a whole new, it's a different operation. And there are competitors who are going after that market, and they've raised a lot of money. We've decided, not to do that.
All right, here's the last question. Who in the viewing and listening audiences should reach out to you, and why?
I think anyone who's looking for a great investment should reach out to us. We're right now just began our fundraising campaign, and there's no other opportunity like this in the market. We're a one-of-a-kind solution with a great management team. We're targeting a market that's ripe for AI. In fact, any law firm that doesn't adopt AI will go out of business. So you have to adopt it. It's not a if.
Right.
And then it's a when. Well, when is now. So the timing couldn't be better, and our technology is well thought out, and we've got an experienced management team. So those are the people that should contact me. The second people that should contact me is anyone who's looking for something that does the things that I've described. Any law firm that's looking, any law firm that has, say, 50 attorneys, 30 attorneys, 25 attorneys, up to 100 attorneys. That's kind of our sweet spot. And they're saying, hey, maybe we are afraid of AI. Give us a call. We can help you with that.
And your email address one more time. The website is icognio.com. It's
icognio, ICOGNIO, not incognito, but icognio.
Icognio, yeah.
And my email address is craig.brenner@icognio.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate you being here. I enjoyed it. And
I enjoyed it too as well. Thank you.
Very cool. You're very welcome. And thanks everybody for watching and listening. This is a show about business and business challenges, right? If you've got concerns about the sales effectiveness of your company, whether your sales team is you or very small or it's very large, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook or LinkedIn. One of my easy email addresses is kevin@winningbusinessradio.com. We are Winning Incorporated, part of Sandler Training. We develop sales people and sales teams into high achievers and sales leaders into true coaches and mentors. We're not a fit for everybody, but hey, maybe we should have a conversation. Thank you, Juan, for another job well done, our producer and engineer. Join us again next Monday, April 6th. We'll do it all over again with a great guest. Until then, this is Kevin Hallinan.
You've been listening to Winning Business Radio with your host, Kevin Hallinan. If you missed any part of this episode, the podcast is available on Talk4 Podcasting and iHeartRadio. For more information and questions, go to winningbusinessradio.com or check us out on social media. Tune in again next week and every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to listen live to Winning Business Radio on W4CY Radio, W4CY.com. Until then, let's succeed where others have failed and win in business with Kevin Hallinan and Winning Business Radio.